I'm in Shenandoah National Park, and this is the Stony Man overlook. That's looking to the west. There's my new car. I think I'm gonna call it the Gray Ghost. And I am going to close that up, and I'm gonna head down Skyline Drive this way about a quarter of a mile and then turn right and head down into Nicholson Hollow. Going to go down and visit the Corbin Cabin and then climb up the next mountain along Indian Run Trail. Indian Run Trail is one of the few trails in this park that I haven't really hiked, so I'm going to hike it today. The elevation here is 3,100 feet. Quarter of a mile into my hike. The elevation here is 3,090. And here's the trailhead for Nicholson Hollow Trail. That's where I came from, up that way. Stony Man overlooks that way. So let's head on down Nicholson Hollow Trail. This takes you all the way down to the Corbin Cabin. Seven-tenths of a mile into my hike. I'm down to 2,740 feet. And here's a spring box along this trail. Used to be an old road, but... And looks like the spring is dried up. It's pretty dry conditions here in the park, though. They've actually closed, all the streams are closed to fishing until the rains come. So, looks a little wet in there, but there's no water flowing. That's where I came from, down from Skyline Drive. And there's a spring box. I'll mark it on my map. And we're going to continue descending down into Nicholson Hollow. .8 miles into my hike, I'm still descending towards Corbin Cabin. I'm down to 2,150 feet. And there's where I came from. And I just happened to notice this cleared out area, and there's a pretty significant pile of rocks here. So there was something here. That's either part of a fence or maybe somebody lived here. I'll have to, I'll record the position and take a look at some of the old maps and see if I can figure out anything from that. I don't recall seeing any homesteads marked on the old maps here, but that doesn't mean there weren't some. Anyway, I'll step back in here. I'll record the location. I'll step back in here and get a few still pictures. So looking at this rock pile sideways, it's starting to look more like a wall. See that? And it heads on up there for a ways. So just a little downhill on the trail from where that rock wall is a first crossing here. These are the headwaters of the Hughes River. Let's see, I'm at 2,140 feet. And actually there is water down flowing here now. not much, but there is a flow. So we're going to cross over to the other side. Getting close to the Corbin Cabin now. Two miles into my hike, I'm still descending towards Corbin Cabin. Here's the turnoff though for the Indian Run Trail. This is the trail. When I come back, I'm going to turn left and head up this way. Up to, I'm reading the band here, up to, I'm going to climb it up to Corbin Mountain Trail, 1.7 miles, and then come back down. And then I'm going to head back up to my car. But first let's go down and check out Corbin Cabin. Looks like I got to cross some more headwaters over here. The elevation here is 2,140 feet. Almost down to the cabin. That says privy for cabin renters only, and it's got a lock on it. It's one of the new composting type. See the composting crib down there? So I'm going to continue following the trail, which is over here, but there's also a shortcut this way back to the cabin. .2 miles into my hike, I'm down to 2,090 feet, and this is the Corbin Cabin. I'll get a bunch of still pictures of it. This is one of the historic structures in the park. The Corbin family lived here. This is in Nicholson Hollow, though. You had Corbins and Nicholsons living in this hollow, and it's been restored over the years. PATC manages it. You can rent this out. My brother and I spent a couple nights down here in the winter, and man, was it cold. Anyway, there's the this is where I came from, and here's the cabin. And behind the cabin, uphill a little ways, are the outhouses I showed you. And then over here are the headwaters to the Hughes River down there. So from here you can cross over the river and you can get back up to Skyline Drive that way, or you can go back the way I came, which is this way. So I'm going to get some pictures of this area, and then I'm going to start heading back. When I get to Indian Run Trail, I'm going to turn left and hike up that a ways, because I don't think I've ever hiked that trail. Here's a shot of the headwaters for the Hughes River next to the cabin. There is a flow, but it's hardly anything. It's hardly any flow at all right now. It's very dry here. Got a lot of standing pools of water here. You have fish trapped in these pools of water. They've stopped all fishing in the park because of the low water until the rains come back. I just took a picture of this sign. It's posted up on the Corbin Cabin. It's warning people about copperheads and rattlesnakes in the area. Be alert near brush, tall grass, holes in the ground, hollow and down logs, and around the foundation and porch of this cabin. Watch for snakes traveling in tall grass. Use a flashlight and wear your boots when going outside at night. So there you go. Note to myself, I repositioned waypoint IRT1, Indian Run Trail 1, to this point right here. On the old maps, it showed a different location about 500 feet from here. So these trails have been rerouted over the years. Four miles into my hike, I'm up to 3,020 feet. And this is my turnaround point. That's where I came from. And I'm at an intersection. I'm going to have to double check when I get home. But this old abandoned road, I believe, this heads up to the old Thorofare Mountain School. I think that road heads up to there. And then there's nothing heading in this direction. And then this way down here, I think goes down to, takes you down to the Old Rag Fire Road. So I'll make a few notes and should be able to better annotate it when I get home. The actual route of the trails through here doesn't follow the exact old maps. It looks like some of these have been rerouted. Anyway, I'm gonna drink some water and then I gotta turn around and start heading back. It's I'm 4 miles out and I gotta get back to my car, so it's gonna be a long hike. Note to myself, that's the way I came from, which is from the north. That's heading north. This abandoned trail is heading to the east. I don't see anything heading south. And the trail that's currently in use is heading west. .3 miles into my hike, I'm descending now, down to 3,120 feet. That's where I came from. And just stop here. This is a pretty nice looking little camp spot area here. It's right next to the trail, but this trail isn't very heavily traveled, just judging from the looks of it. Pretty nice spot right there. I'll mark it on my GPS. This is a map of today's hike. The quadrangle name is Old Rag Mountain, 1994. And the purpose of the hike was to hike the Indian Run Trail. I parked right here at the Stony Mountain overlook, excuse me, the Stony Man overlook. This is mile marker 38. From here, you have to get on Skyline Drive and hike up Skyline Drive about a quarter of a mile to here. And then you turn right and you start descending down into Nicholson Hollow on this is Nicholson Hollow Trail. When I got down to here, and this is fairly steep, by the way, when I got to here, there was a spring box. So I got some shots of that. Now when I got down to here, I noticed that I was actually hiking more along this pink path right here versus the old map. This is from 1994. It shows that the trail took a turn like this and went further south. But anyway, nowadays you end up hiking more along this pink path. Right in through here is where the rock wall was. And then on down to the Corbin Cabin. Got some shots of that. Then I came back up to here and took a left on Indian Run Trail. Again, this is another steep trail. Climbed the mountain. When I got up to here, there was a camp spot. I pointed that out. And then up to here. And then this was my turnaround point. Now, sometime or other, I'm going to bushwhack from here over into this area and look for if there's any remains of the Thorofare Mountain School that was up here in this area. This part of the trail is abandoned. So when you get up to here, your only choice really is to make a right-hand turn onto Corbin Mountain Trail. And that'll take you down to, this is the Old Rag Fire Road. And if you want to, you can hike to the west on Old Rag Fire Road all the way back. This way takes you back to Skyland. So that's another way of looping back. But I turned around here, went back down into Nicholson Hollow, turned down to here, and then turned left and came on up back to my car. This was a fairly long hike, 7.6 miles, and an ascent of 2148. So a lot of vertical ascent in this hike. And that was the hike for today.